Today I have done the first test drive and the weather outside was absolutely miserable, but I couldn't help myself, I had to try it. So how did the test drive go?
While a friend of mine was trying the trike, the steering came loose. I tightened the nut holding the fork harder, but that later proved to be a problem. Just as we reached the place for testing, the weather turned on us. In the first few hundred meters, I quickly realized that when I tightened the nut before, I also made the steering much stiffer. That made doing the small little steering corrections difficult to do. Another thing that in hindsight seems logical is that the steering input should follow the leaning action, like you do in two-wheel vehicles. Once I figured that out, not even the steering gave problems, and despite the miserable weather, the shivering cold and the fact that snow accumulated on my glasses so I could barely see ahead, I had fun. Once you start moving, it's very easy to ride. You lean your body in the direction you want to travel, the vehicle leans and the steering follows. The pedals once you move aren't needed, and you don't use much lean angle either because the center of gravity is much lower than conventional two-wheel vehicles.
How much?
So how did the test drive go? It actually went really well. Other than the weather, which was horrible, the vehicle behaved properly. I only had one problem, and it was a major problem, was the steering. The steering is connected to the steering linkage through a threaded shaft that is then bolted here. And the only way the steering is kept to not slip is through friction. So this bolt here is tightened, you can see it's a big bolt, it's tightened really tight to not make the steering slip. The problem that causes though is that I have bearings here, and it clamps on the bearings, which means that the steering is heavy. And that was pretty much the only problem I had. But once I start moving and you pick up some speed, I was able to pick up 50 kilometers an hour, which I didn't even feel. My friends were following me with the car and they said that I was going at the speed that it really didn't felt that fast. But once it starts moving, it behaves exactly like a motorcycle or a bicycle. What you do is just lean your body and it itself leans and follows the course. So it was very intuitive. I don't even think you need the pedals once you start moving because it balances itself pretty much. It was very stable, very comfortable, and very nice to use. Sadly, the weather wasn't very good, but what a better way to show that if you want to have a vehicle that's lightweight, efficient, small, that's usable all year, you have to have a cabin. So yeah, next I'm gonna make the cabin, but so far I'm so happy. This went fantastic. Frankly, I have to admit that I wasn't expecting that this was so easy to use. I was expecting that I would have to use it for a few times before I get the hang of it. I actually didn't. It was just pick up and go. So I'm extremely happy about that. And yeah, the project will follow up. I have to modify the steering, but other than that, everything works as intended. So please like and subscribe if you want to follow the rest of the project. Wish all you a fantastic day and see you next time.